And God is able to make all grace abound towards you. I'm rushing trying to get through. That ye, always having all sufficiency in all things, may abound to every good work. As it is written, he hath dispersed abroad, he hath given to the poor, his righteousness remains forever. Not he that ministereth seed to the sower, both minister bread for your food, and multiply your seed sown, and increase the fruits of your righteousness. Look at verse 10. He ministers seed to the sower, and bread for the food. The seed is the seed. The food is the harvest. Mm-hmm. God said, ask. Yes. The rent on this building is about $650 a month. Why is it y'all can't come to me and say, Pastor, Apostle, I'll take it, that bill. Mm-hmm. Pastor, Apostle, I'll pay that $650 a month. And I'll tell you why. Because you're looking at what you have and what you got to do with what you have. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I want your last. Mm-hmm. When God said this to me, I was saying this just in the house. I don't want your money. God will make me rich. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be very rich. Be wealthy rich. Mm-hmm. But God will do that for me. So I don't need the money for myself. But why don't you say that? Is it because, like Martha, you're hearing your obligations over the word? Or is it, I won't say that. I won't say that. No. No, sir, forgive me for you thinking that. Forgive me, sir, for thinking that. No. He said that, verse 10, he ministers seed to the sower, mm-hmm. both minister bread for your food and multiply your seed sown. Mm-hmm. I was watching a preacher on television. He picked up an apple. And, you know, one of the good, sweet tasting apples. And you bite into that apple and you enjoy it. But you know, if you get down to the core of the apple, you eat that seed, it tastes bitter. Mm-hmm. It doesn't taste as good as the apple. Mm-hmm. And the reason why the seed doesn't taste as good as the apple is because you're not supposed to eat the seed. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to plant the seed. Listen to me, church. Your paycheck is not your harvest. Your paycheck is your seed. Mm-hmm. I did it for years. I ate my seed. Mm-hmm. How do you eat your seed? I ate my seed when I paid mortgage on my home. I ate my seed when I bought a car. I ate my seed when I bought clothes. I ate my seed when I bought computers. I ate my seed when I bought televisions. I ate my seed when I bought smartphones. I ate my seed when I bought tablet computers. I ate my seed. And I ate so much of my seed that oftentimes I didn't even share the seed with my wife. Mm-hmm. She'll say to me, she said, everything you make goes on you. Mm. I was eating my seed. Was not planting my seed. I was eating my seed. Mm-hmm. And therefore I had no harvest. Mm-hmm. Because I mistook my seed for my harvest. Mm-hmm. And instead of eating the harvest, which is enjoyable and good to eat, mm-hmm. I was eating the seed, which is no good. Mm-hmm. That's how I almost lost my home. Mm-hmm. Because I ate the seed. Mm-hmm. It took me having to realize that my seed is my seed. And I make less per month than most people do. Mm-hmm. I get less than $400 a month. Mm-hmm. Less than $400 a month. Now it's changed. I got this little job. I get a little extra now. I was getting $400 a month. And I would plant my seed. Mm-hmm. And I heard this story about Oral Roberts. Said that he was sick. Mm-hmm. And he said to God, he said, God, he said, I got receipts in heaven. I forget the verse he used. Mm-hmm. He said, I got receipt in heaven. He said, now I've sold healing into people because you use me to heal people. Mm-hmm. I sow seed by giving seed to the work of God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to take one of my receipts, God, and claim my healing.
Mm-hmm.
And God healed him.
Mm-hmm.
See, we got to learn as people of God that what is important. If we want to go into this level of the impossible, we've got to do two things. We've got to give diligence to the word.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to plant our seed.
Mm-hmm.
If we're not planting our seed and we're not giving diligence to the word, we're not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But see, we got to get the faith to believe that if I give to God,
Mm-hmm.
God will give to me. Now watch this. And I'm getting ready to close. This other preacher was sitting there, he took that same apple. And he said, in this apple there is seed. He said, now if you take this seed and you plant it, prophet, and it produces a tree, and it produces fruit. He said, that's not multiplying the seed, because all that is already in the seed. That tree and all that fruit is in the tree and seed. He said, God said he will multiply the seed. And what I try to do is say, okay, I got one seed, and God gave me one seed, that's two seeds. But how do I get 1 times 1 get 2? He gave me 3 seeds. How do I get 1 times 1 times 1 and get 3? Because 1 times 1 times 1 times whatever is always 1. Mm-hmm. And God said, son, you're doing it backwards. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying 1 times 1, I gave 2, it's 2 times 1, multiplied. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying 1 times 1 times 1, I gave 3 times 1, multiplied. Mm-hmm. So you're doing it backwards. And see, that's what multiplication is. When God gives you, how does the church say they do it? Mm-hmm. They gave, God nursed the seed to the soil. Mm-hmm. God multiplied their seed sown. They planted that seed. They got a harvest. And then they planted the seed and lived out the harvest. Mm-hmm. I told your mama one time, I said, this is when I was injured. Mm-hmm. When I was injured. I said, Lila, and she'll tell you I said that. I said, Lila, our problem is that we're giving the seed away and the harvest away. I said, go get a watermelon, and we're not eating the watermelon nor the seed. We give it all away. But she understood something I didn't understand. She didn't say anything to me. She just let me talk foolish. But she understood something I didn't understand. She understood that when she went to work on those jobs, that she planted that seed. Little did mind giving people. No matter who they were, she did not mind giving. If she had it and you needed it, she gave it to you. Mm-hmm. She planted seed. And I've always said that woman, you heard me say this before. I'm closing. She said, God, show Julius what you can do. She'll go ahead and get something like on that card there. Them tires cost, oh man, about $700-800. She ain't had that kind of money. She didn't have it. She went and got them tires, put on that car. She said, I want brand new tires on this car. She went and got brand new tires, $700-800. No money. She had no money to pay for it. She had a credit card. And that girl paid that credit card off in 30 days. That debt off in 30 days. How did she do it? She was a giver. She gave to God, and God gave back to her. Mm-hmm. And she was able, God multiplied her seed sown. And so she could continue to give to others, and she paid it off in tires. Mm-hmm. The bed I sleep in, almost $1,500. She had no money to get that. She bought that bed. Mm-hmm. She paid it off in 2 months, or maybe 3 months. She had like a year to pay it off. She paid it off in 2 or 3 months. How did she do it? She would give. And then God would multiply her seed sown. Mm-hmm. And her harvest would come in, she'll pay on that bed. Mm-hmm. And in 2 or 3 months, that bed was paid for. Because Little didn't like debt. Mm-hmm. And she didn't like interest. When she'll go buy something, she'll go places where it say, buy, 1 year, year paid off in a year, debt, interest free, whatever, that's where she'll go. And she went and she paid that bed off 2 or 3 months. And she would always say, when she do something like that, she'd say, God, show Julius what you can do. Show Julius what you can do. And she would always pay it off. Somebody would give us something. I remember, I know I'm through, I said I'm through, but I want to bring this up. I was talking to Dr. Mitchell about this the last time I was in Bakerton. Dr. Mitchell called me. You know Dr. Mitchell, Nikhil. Dr. Mitchell from Auburn Tech called me. Mr. Cannon, can I speak to your wife? You don't know my wife, Dr. Mitchell. Can I speak to your wife? Got her on the phone, she said, Miss Cannon, God told me to give you, watch this now. This is a little hardest. God told me to give you $200. And God told me to put it in your hand. Where can we meet at? Little said, well, I live out here in Indian Creek. She said, well, I'll meet you somewhere. Where we can meet? She said, well, I'll tell you what, there's a store right there across from the fairgrounds. We'll meet there. Woman, further I know, Dr. Mitchell had never seen her. Never laid eyes on her. She met her there and gave her $200. And I asked Dr. Mitchell, why did you? She said, God told me to do it that way. See, that was a little harvest. See, but little did not give her last. And see, we got to learn how to do that for God. So we can be like Martha and let our obligations call our name, and we'll never, ever move God to that next level. And we'll never step to that next level because we limit God to what we have. Amen. Amen.